Hi everyone, welcome back to Allotment Days. This is the first update of 2018. Hope you all had a nice Christmas and New Year. I've not put an update on for about the last 2 months, mainly due to the weather and also because I had a really bad cold, mild flu for about 3 weeks before Christmas. But we've used the time that we've had to wheelbarrow manure onto the allotment, and as you can see we're still picking winter veg. I've just picked 3 or 4 skinny musselburgh leeks, a couple of rather large parsnips. They're the student and they get top marks because they're lovely and clean, and we're still taking Autumn King carrots out of the big raised bed. There's a little bit of damage on them now because they're still in the ground, but we're still eating carrots. And if we take a look at the no-dig plot, you can see that's in pretty good order really. Not really much in the way of weeding this year. The no-dig approach seems to have worked wonders. As you know, if you've followed previous updates, we've covered the borders with cardboard and horse manure, and that's been about it. And I've been around this morning and spent no more than about 15 minutes just taking an odd little bit of grass out, but there's not really been any weeds to speak of. Unlike some of the smaller beds here in front of us, where this one here, if I point to it, the first one, that was mainly soil and that had a lot of weed in it, but the others have had virtually nothing. You can see the elephant garlic's through, every plant's fired and they're looking well. I've just topped up the second of the larger beds there, and I used the spent compost from the potatoes from last year because that's going to take the carrots this year. The bed that's covered that had the carrots this year, but everything's looking pretty good. As I say, the elephant garlic looks quite healthy. None of the tops have been eaten or anything like that, and as you can see there's not much in the way of disturbance. You can see a few footprints on the border, but that's pretty much as it was, as I say, with an odd little weed here and there, and that's the same story all the way around. So the no-dig plot is looking really good, and we just need spring to come now and we can do some planting. I've not taken out all of the purple sprouting broccoli plants yet. I've taken a few tips out and composted each plant in turn and put them into the 2 compost bins there. So the no-dig plot's ready to go. We'll take a quick look at the original allotment, and you can see that we've still got some things growing here. We've still got plenty of sprouts to grow out. Overwintering onions and shallots, they're doing okay, although the tops have been nibbled out. Still plenty of leeks to go at, although they're not as good this year as previous seasons. A little bit skinny, but they're still nice in stews and to eat as boiled leeks as well. I'll show you the overwintering onions and you'll see that the tips have been eaten, and that's probably pigeons, I would think. I've got my potatoes, seed potatoes for this year. I've just put them out this morning into trays so that they can chit. I'll show you those now. Seed potatoes are nicely tucked away in the best of the 3 greenhouses because this is pretty airtight. We don't tend to get any frost in here, and it's underneath a trestle table as well. And we've got Pentland Javelin, Charlotte, Kestrel, King Edward and Picasso, and we'll talk more about these later in the season, but I've got my seed potatoes and they're all bedded down, and I'll keep an eye on the weather. If it's going to be really cold, I'll get them covered up with some fleece. But they're getting some light, not too much, but they're okay. And look at this, this is lettuce. This is the last batch of lettuce that I sowed. I think it was about the middle of November, and they were sown so that come mid-February they would start growing again, and we'd have an early crop of lettuce leaf. And I put tons in there. It was the mole seed that I used again, and thousands and thousands of seeds, and it looks really well. It's nice to see anyway in the middle of the winter, and it's not been affected by the frost. Some of the other plants, I think this might have been a pak choi, that went to seed. But we should have some more lettuce in a month or so. I still have got some lettuce. It's a little bit bedraggled now in one of the other trays, but I won't bore you with that. But yeah, that's the lettuce leaf. Hi. Well, I'm just about to head off home now for lunch. It's Saturday the 27th of January. It's only a short update, this one. We've not really got a great deal to show you. There are still some things growing on the third and fourth allotment. As you can see, we've got some really nice swede here. Not massive, but lovely and clean. And some purple top Midland turnip as well. This was a second sowing towards the back end of the summer. We managed to get them in early enough so that they'd bear fruit. And I've got some more turnip just up there. They are the white, slightly green Petrowski turnip, and they've been quite prolific too. You can see that the flower bed in front of me, that's been cleared out, and we're part way through covering that with manure. We managed to protect the gladioli bulbs that are still in there with manure before the really hard frosts hit. The dahlia tubers were all taken up, and they're being looked after by my partner in crime in his greenhouse at home. Strawberries have been thinned out, and again we've part covered that area with manure. And the runner beans, they're doing quite well as well. They got a little bit too big, possibly, and a few were blown over. We might have put them in just a tad too early, but we'll see how they fare. They look pretty healthy, so they should be okay. So that's it for this update. We've still not tackled the fifth allotment, the strip that runs up at the back of the greenhouse, but I dare say we'll get around to that in due course. We have a big greenhouse to put up there, so that needs to be done before the start of the season. But that's it. So you know we're still in business, fighting fit again, recovered from us cold, and hopefully if the weather's kind to us, we'll get the remainder of the beds tidied up and covered with manure. But for the time being, enjoy your weekend, and hope that you manage to get out into the garden or onto your allotment. I'll catch you later. Take care, all the best.